Hey, this is Otto Rupsman, and great copy makes you millions. Today I'm going to talk to you about editing copy. Once you get a rough draft done, well, you got to actually edit it. And so here's a few things to know about writing copy. When you write copy, your first draft is always shit. Yes, I said shit. The first draft does not generally come out very good, and it's in the editing process where you refine, you tweak, you polish, you tighten, you cut, you kind of concise the whole copy down into a polished gem that makes you millions. And the biggest thing about the editing process is this. You're probably going to go through several drafts of the editing and in tweaking when you're editing copy. It takes time to do this stuff. This isn't an overnight process. This is something that takes real time. And you know, the best copywriters, frankly, can only put in about 4 hours a day in copy because it's such an intense activity, because you're using so much brain and heart space. You're like, and it's just this fusion melding pot of energy and intensity. It's like, but the good thing about copy is that it's incredibly great when you have a winner. So in the editing process, you want to keep editing down, polishing, refining. And a couple tips is when you're editing up copy, read your copy out loud. Read it aloud. When you read over your copy, then you can pick up anywhere that you stumble and mark that on the copy and say, hey, there's probably some stuff that can be smoothed out there for the consistent flow of the communication, of that what you're saying. If you are stumbling over your words when you're reading it out loud, then that is an indicator that it needs to be improved. Now, next thing, if you've edited up your copy, hand it to a 6 or 7 or 8-year-old kid. And if, an 8-year-old is pretty much like 3rd grade level. If a 3rd grader can read it without any problems and understand it, then you're doing pretty good. The only problem with that is 8-year-olds, they tend to keep aging and growing up, so you need to go find young kids to have read your copy. But generally between a 3rd grader and a 5th grader type language is how you want your copy to be written so that it's easily understood. You're going for acceptance, not for sophisticated wording that very few people understand. Even if you think they do, they probably don't, because Americans' vocabularies are, well, frankly, not very good. So use simple words, simple wording, things that are easy to understand. If you're using words like perfunctory or eschew or other longer words that not everyone understands, then you need to turn that into something that a 3rd grader will read and fully understand. So complex words, get them out of there and turn them into simple words. Anytime you can use a power word like an action verb, it's better. The more action verbs you can use, the better. The words that are showing the doing of something and that have an emotional bite to them, those are great words to utilize. Words that just like snarling pit bull, that's a visual picture you can see in your mind's eye. A snarling pit bull that's about ready to tear off your leg. That's stuff that is very good to kind of supercharge your copy in the editing process. So biggest thing though is read it out loud and then hand it to someone else to read. If a little 3rd grader or 4th grader or 5th grader is not available, hand it to someone who might be a prospect. And as they're reading through it, if they say to yourself, that's a really good piece of copy, you really write well, you have zero connectivity there. You have missed the mark. If there's someone who could be a prospect and they're reading through it and they say, wow, this sounds pretty good. How do you get one of these things? I'd be interested in getting one. If they say that, then you've got a winner on your hands, because they're probably going to be, if they're a prospect and they want to buy it, you know what? You've done your job, and they're looking to spend money with you, which is the real true test of good copy. Does it get people to whip out their wallet and hand you money? Because if it gets them to whip out their wallet and hand you money, you have a winner, my friend, and that you can take to the bank.